My friends, one of my favorite bass players anywhere in the world is a guy named Robert Trusco. Somebody that just has that unique, identifiable sound, whether it's rhythm or he's taking a lead. And I asked him, where's it come from? He goes, Dallas, Texas. It's a scene and it's a thing. And when I moved there from Philly, it changed my playing. I said, when you show me some tracks? He goes, yeah, I can show you some tracks. I said, hit me. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Palmisano here. I have my good friend Robert Trusco here. One of the best bass players I've ever had the privilege to sit in with. Dude, I met you through your band Two Lot, and we got to play together a little bit in Vegas with like a ridiculous cast of characters.
It was very, very ridiculous.
Good music, my people. This time, good people, good music. Play it in my heart,
Preposterous. Preposterous even. And you're here in Baltimore to show me a little bit of like the Dallas sound.
But when I moved to Dallas, I was welcomed by some of the Snarky Puppy people. Mike League introduced me to Wes Stephenson, and Wes kind of gave me this whole map to the sound down there, just the phrasing and how things happen. And a lot of the source actually comes from this guy Bernard Wright, who's actually not from Dallas either. He's from Jamaica, Queens.
Okay.
But he moved down there and really was a big influence on a lot of keyboard players. And I feel like a lot of the bass players, when you hear them solo, there's some of the similar elements of just the way that people phrase things. This kind of blend between like lyrical playing and more kind of shredding.
Yeah.
And I feel like this first video is one of the last recordings of him before he passed. I just felt like that would be a good place to start. The idea of like moving the motion up and down.
Yeah.
I feel like he does a great job of sometimes it's like, here's an inside idea.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to raise this in pitch to just make it feel like there's more intensity and then resolve it. Me, I feel like a big part of that sound is the ability to be very lyrical when you want to, and also to kind of step into these other spaces and just like use some angular stuff. And but it all feels good. Like that was from what I've heard from Bernard. It's like it's about making every note just sit in the pocket, feel good, and really be expressive.
Yeah.
So this is a much younger Bernard Wright. This is him playing with Marcus Miller, and that's an interesting thing too. Is that they grew up together in Jamaica, Queens. So they were like childhood friends, and then they went on tour together. They both played with Miles Davis. I got pause. I love this phrase so much, and it's so crazy to hear like generational influence. Like there's this keyboard player from Dallas named Caleb McCampbell.
Yeah.
And Caleb, I feel like he has such a beautiful sound, and he would be the first one to say like this dude's an influence. And like that patch, that phrasing, a lot of the way like the left hand is working.
Yeah.
Like the way the vibrato happens from the pitch bend wheel, and it's funny because sometimes like if you're using a Moog, there's like the modulation, but then like some of the dudes will just straight up wiggle the pitch bend back and forth, and the way that he does that, like
hit back, do it again,
Oh, dude. The other part to say with that is just like he sounds like a guitar player, right? Before you can actually see him, it's just like, and that's part of that too. Is like there's just very like like vocal quality to
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's like a combination of that and then like guitar language almost or something
Yeah.
like that.
No, for
being
sure.
applied to this instrument that I don't play, which is
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. It's a great pick.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yes. Those angular jumps are so great.
Yeah.
Every time I think, oh, as a guitar player, I would go down from there, he
Yeah.
goes up, you
Yeah.
know, and finds a way to keep the motif like building, but still like representative of where he started. Like it's like it is guitar language, but like I keep thinking like, oh, he's gonna go down here, and the motherfucker just keeps going up.
Dude, absolutely. And there's a lot of this kind of like up, pause,
Yeah.
pause kind of motion to the whole thing. And it makes the whole solo, you know, it's a minute solo or something, but you just feel that build the whole time. You know?
Dude, love it.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Roy blent the world so well of like he was a very serious jazz dude.
Yeah.
There's plenty of records of him playing with people like Joe Henderson and like Christian McBride, and like he's part of that whole like Young Lions world.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is that with RH Factor, you have this blending of the worlds and just the way pockets feel when things happen.
Want to be free if it means that I'll be without you, baby. Without you, baby. 'Cause I just want you to see how much you mean to me. And I really love you. And I really love you. Hey, hey. Your sugar, you feel the touch.
I love those flams
Your
on the
hair,
drums. That's
your
so good.
voice,
The groove is so thick.
The
you
groove is so
moan.
thick, and like
pray.
the placement of just where everything is sitting. A lot of the sound in Dallas, I would say, there's this blend between these different worlds, right? So you have a massive influence from jazz, influence from hip hop, and influence from church music.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because all these things come together, and you hear all these different elements in the same song.
Yeah.
And it sticks out like a sore thumb in the best way. You know what I mean? Like,
It's clear.
yeah, and it's funny because I feel like every time, you know, anytime one of my friends has moved to another city, whether a drummer or a bass player or anything else, it's like they stick out like a sore thumb in the best way, and everybody's like, dude, who is that guy? Like,
Yeah.
he sounds great and this,
Yeah.
and it's like, not, you know, obviously the individual is to own on that hard work, but that influence.
Bringing that Dallas sound.
Yeah, there's a community that I'm grateful to be a part of that I have learned a lot from, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm just a visitor, so to speak, of compared to these people that have lived there their whole lives
Sure.
and developed these things. But I feel like seeing some of these origins really connects to when I've showed you these two bass solos, like how they actually phrase and make their
Yeah.
choices and stuff.
Let's do it.
What I love about this recording is that Wes is going back and forth from being really lyrical at the top of the solo to being more and more technical. And,
Yeah.
and then the way this solo works is it's not just, well, I guess I won't spoil how the solo
Okay.
works. There's some things I like about this, specifically about this song and composition and the way that his solo works to connect the sections. Doing that, like he typically is playing like a jazz bass or something that sounds like a jazz bass. So he might hate me for showing you this solo specifically. But
I love it.
I love you, Wes, and I'm sharing this because of your phrasing, man.
It hit me.
So, yeah. And the thing that's cool to me about his playing is, like I said, there's these lyrical moments in there. He's even willing to like pause for a few seconds.
Yes.
I mean, like, and then come up with like you can really tell he's improvising because he's taking that time.
Well,
to
that's
think about that,
you articulated it so much better than I did. But just like you could, the way he leaves space, takes a breath, leans forward, like his body language, like I identify with that. I guess what I'm saying is I have the intuition for that, like as a blues player, as a country player, but like seeing it with those licks too, I was just like, he had me the entire way. Like every step, I was like just waiting for the next note. Like he had me.
So it's funny because Wes actually plays with Mark Lettieri these days, but at one point Braylon Lacy was playing with Mark quite a bit, and this is I think my buddy Chris filmed this. This is just a solo. I think it's an unaccompanied solo of Braylon, and Braylon is an immensely talented bass player from Dallas. I think that just even try to talk about this. Braylon plays with lots of different people, lots of different settings, but like one of the ones he's most well known for is playing with Erykah Badu, and he just, he's very comfortable in the hip hop setting, but he can play jazz like nobody's business, and he plays pocket stuff so well. He can do anything. Yeah. And it's just so interesting to hearing each one of their playing between Braylon and Wes. And there's lots of other amazing, talented bass players from Dallas. And I'm thinking of this guy, Left-Handed Kevin, who is ridiculous. He's a super talented guy. And then also from that generation is Keith Taylor.
Okay.
And actually, I wish I would have grabbed one of his solos because there's a great one of him and Sean. But yeah, just the phrasing and the like I said, the blending the worlds, and you can hear a lot of that in this one.
Let's do it.
Tell me that you didn't just get that little moment or dart in there, right? The like
yeah.
That same.
Woo! Nice.
Yeah, as you see, Braylon could kind of do anything he wants.
Yeah.
It's funny, like there's a lot of like in that solo, I haven't, to be clear, like I picked a couple of these solos because of their influence on me.
Yeah.
And like a lot of these, both of these I was listening to like a decade ago.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that you could check out of all these players that's way more recent, that's in hi-fi and stuff.
Whatever.
You know, the reason I'm saying all that too is that I haven't heard this in so long, and like listening to it with fresh ears, his choices of like, he's sitting around, I don't know what, I guess you're in G. Like, but he starts at the beginning, like there's this kind of like Dorian, you know, blues kind of thing going on, and then eventually I'm hearing like, you know,
a harmonic minor.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like those kinds of choices, and then and kind of everything in between. But I feel like he's not afraid to. What I love about unaccompanied solos like that is that you can really go anywhere you want, and you can imply, or you know, eventually that you're going to come back or something, or you can imply other places. And I love he took so much freedom. I heard like at least 2 different quotes. One of them sounded like the from that's like a Stravinsky, the Rite of Spring or something, you know. And then I heard this. You know, like a little bit of Giant Steps. I heard like 4 chords in there, and maybe I don't know what song they're soloing, or I don't know if there's any, if that's actually related to something, but it sounded to me like I just heard a little bit of Giant Steps for a second, just when he was playing some of the chords, and like and then also the I mean, same thing of phrasing, right? I stopped it to say it, but it's like there's moments where he's really playing in that, and he just. There was this kind of cute, like we're doing minor, but like we're coming back to this that major, and that to me this was like probably one of the first places in my brain where that connected of like, oh, you can do both of those.
You can mix them.
Yeah, and it's gonna be cool. Like it actually sounds really good. Like so, I feel like those are some of my big takeaways from from this one. But
dude, man, I love it. Thanks so much for coming here and showing me some of this shit, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me,
dude. Again. Robert Trusco. Again, what bands you in? Where else can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me online, Art Trusco, and my own project is Robert Trusco. But then you can also find me with Tulot. I'm the music director and bass player. Tulot is spelled the number 2, LOT, and you can find us on Spotify and Instagram. Instagram's Tulot Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Well, friends, please check out his links. Please hit subscribe if you dig the vibe here. Let us know what you think in the comments, what we left out, where we should go next. I love you all, and I'll see you around the way. Cheers.
Take care.
Dude, thanks for doing this.
Dude, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, for sure.
This was really fun.